My brothers and sisters, welcome to episode number 129 in the book of Genesis. We're going to ask today, who watches when I cannot watch? We're going to learn about a watchtower, a Mizpah, that is used between Laban and Jacob. So Laban, as you may remember, has been in hot pursuit of Jacob. He had a dream halfway along the way and was visited by the Lord, but still he wants to go and fetch his false gods, his idols. There's been no sign of repentance, no sign of change with Laban, and I don't think we're going to get one. He's kind of got a death grip on a loser, despite this personal visitation, this merciful visitation of the Lord, this kind of warning from the Lord. He still claims the stuff is his, which is a lie, that the people are his, and he's watching out. So in the end, Jacob and Laban are going to ask this question: who's going to watch between you and me when we're out of each other's sight? So the covenant that they're going to make with each other is limited and it's distrustful. And we're going to change that today. And we're going to kind of look at it from the other side and say, what would it be like to have a faithful covenant between abiding parties? So we're not going to make a covenant like theirs. We're going to make, hopefully, a better covenant. So this is from Genesis chapter 31. I'm going to start in verse 42. If the God of my father, the God of Abraham, and the fear of Isaac, three names for God, had not been on my side, surely now you would have sent me away empty-handed. This is Jacob saying this about the nasty Laban. God saw my affliction and the labor of my hands and rebuked you last night. Then Laban answered and said to Jacob, the daughters are my daughters, the children are my children, the flocks are my flocks, and all that you see is mine. Kind of like four lies in a row. But what can I do this day for these my daughters, or for their children whom they have borne? Come now, let us make a covenant, you and I, and let it be a witness between you and me. So Jacob took a stone and set it up as a pillar, and Jacob said to his kinsmen, gather stones, and they took stones and made a heap, and they ate there by the heap. Laban called it Jagar Shahutha, but Jacob called it Galid. They couldn't even agree on the name of the place. And Laban said, this heap is a witness between you and me today, and therefore named it Galid and Mizpah, for he said, the Lord watch between you and me when we are out of one another's sight. That's the theme that I want to capitalize on today. The Lord watch between you and me when we are out of one another's sight. They're going to do it distrustfully, and we're going to hopefully do it trustfully at the end. If you oppress my daughters, or if you take wives besides my daughter, although no one is with us, God is witness between you and me. Then Laban said to Jacob, see this heap and the pillar which I have set between you and me. This heap is a witness, and the pillar is a witness. They have two witnesses. That I will not pass over this heap to you, and you will not pass over this heap and this pillar to me to do harm. The God of Abraham and the God of Nahor, that's probably a small g, the God of Nahor, the God of their father, judge between us. That's Abraham's brother's Nahor, who probably wasn't a believer. So Jacob swore by the fear of his father Isaac, and Jacob offered a sacrifice in the hill country and called his kinsmen to eat bread. They ate bread and spent the night in the hill country. Early in the morning, Laban arose and kissed his grandchildren and his daughters and blessed them, and then Laban departed and returned home. Okay, so there's this pillar. Jacob sets up a pillar, which is a Mizpah, which means a watchtower. Laban kind of gets his heap. So they're not even in agreement regarding the deity. They're not in agreement regarding the heap. Jacob recognizes the pillar. Laban recognizes the heap. They probably have two gods going here, the God of Abraham and then the God of Nahor, small g God, or gods. The word judge in verse 53 is plural, so Laban probably means more than one God, kind of watching over this covenant, which is a non-aggression pact. So we're looking at this from a bad example. They have a limited, it's distrustful covenant. They sort of agree to disagree about everything, the past, their history, and their future. But they do agree to one thing, which is, hey, you stay on your side of the line, aggressiveness, and I'll stay on my side of the line. But they say this beautiful line, the Lord watched between you and me when we're out of one another's sight. They did it because of suspicion, not because of trust in the Lord. So let's change that now and let's redeem the watchtower. Let's redeem the Mizpah and let's have an agreement between friends. So let's think about this making one pillar with one God watching over it and one covenant between those friends. So let's agree to have the Lord watch over both of us. So I'm thinking about two friends that are separated. Most of the people, in fact, I have no friends around me at this moment in time. So in a sense, I could be making these pillars and say, I'm going to leave you now, Mr. Friend, and may the Lord watch over you while I am not here. And you can kind of say the same thing back to me, that the Lord watch over me while we are separated. In other words, we both agree that the Lord is sovereign and that the Lord sees, and the Lord is big enough to be master over both of our worlds, that the Lord can watch between you and me. May the Lord watch when I cannot watch. May the Lord see when I cannot see. May the Lord see when you are too far to see. May the Lord watch me when you can't. So let's ask the question today, who watches when I cannot watch? And my hope is that we can kind of redeem this faulty covenant between Jacob and Laban, and we can make this a covenant between agreeing, believing friends that say, the Lord watch over you when you're out of my sight, and the Lord watch over me when I'm out of your sight. So who watches when I cannot watch? The Lord. Thanks for listening.